Hi everybody. My apologies, I seem to be getting later and later every month with this video, but there's a lot going on. So I'm sorry if you couldn't join us for our Zoom meeting. We had another good one. And I just wanted to go over some of the highlights that we talked about. And here I laid out everything that I have done so far. Hopefully that will give you a little incentive. This month you were given the sweet pea block and the willow tree. And the sweet pea is a 6-inch finished block. You need 5 of them. They are comprised of 4 half-square triangles, 4 flying geese, and a center 3.5-inch square. You all know how to do the half-square triangles. In fact, you'll get a little practice before you get to the willow tree on that. The only thing to make note here on the half-square triangles, in step 1, they do have you press. Please note that last line where it says press the seam allowances towards the background fabric. That's not generally how we press, but it really makes a difference here in doing it that way. Then you're able to nest your seams very nicely with the flying geese. So that's important. And then as far as the flying geese go, I didn't realize that the flying geese were such a hated block right next to the half-square triangles, but really don't be afraid of them. The method they have you do it here is called the heart method. You start with a large background square, and you're really making all 4 at the same time. And the diagram and the directions are very good. You have your large square, you lay your 2 smaller ones on either side, draw your diagonal line, and sew on either side, then you trim. When you press it open, you will see that's where you get your heart. And then you proceed with your last little square and make the last 2. The measurements they give you, you end up with the correct size, which is 3.5 inches by 2 inches. And as you all know, I like to usually make things a little bit bigger and then trim it down. Just know there is a tool that helps you with the flying geese. It's by Creative Grids. This tool makes 8 different sizes, and I did use it here. And here they tell you the only difference between this and the tool and the method in the pattern is that they have you make it bigger and then use the tool to trim it down. I followed their directions, and then after it's all done, you line it up. I use line C. You line it up, you trim, you turn it, and you trim. And as you can see, my edges are all very even. So just keep in mind, if you have a quilt that has a whole bunch of them to make, just keep in mind there is a tool that helps you do that. So as I said, with the sweet pea, you need 5. That is a 6-inch finished block. And next is the willow tree, which is a 12-inch finished block, and you will need 4 of them. And yes, there's a lot of half-square triangles. You will trim those half-square triangles to 2.5. It just takes a little bit of time. You will see it is lined up in this row, and then this is a block, and this is a block. And I also gave you the layout for the quilt, so you can start laying yours out. I did start to put some of mine together. And as you're doing that, you will see that different points do meet, which help you kind of nest things and keep things straight. They don't always, there's not always a 2.5-inch square up against a 2.5-inch square, but just try and find some point where they should meet, and it helps keep things square. One thing I want to mention is I'm afraid I have to move next month's meeting to July 18th. Long story short, July is a real big month, big birthday month in our house, and we're going to have a house full of people on the 11th, so I'm afraid I have to move it to the 18th. And I'm also trying to get that special guest to come on the 18th, so just let me work on that a little bit. So if you have any questions, give me a call, email me. Otherwise, have fun, do your layouts, and we're almost to the end. It's going really fast. So have a good week. Thanks. Bye.